Welcome back, dear friends! The worms in the mask. I was asked to give an answer. Let's first watch the video that started this whole story.
I saw it on the internet, but I thought it was fake. I decided to try the experiment myself.
Dear Stefan, congratulations on your approach. You wanted to try this experiment yourself. You didn't immediately believe what others said. You wanted to check for yourself. That's good for everyone to do when possible.
Look, I put a pot of water to boil for steam. I placed the mask above it so it would get steamed, to create the same conditions as if it were at our mouth. And look what I discovered. Look here at how these parasites are moving. Or I don't know what else I could call them. In my opinion, it's the nanotechnology that people talk about and nobody believes in.
Stefan's actions here aren't actually wrong. Namely, he comes with an initial interpretation even if the experiment is not finished. He talks about nanotechnology, he talks possibly about parasites, and, in my opinion, he says it very, very well. Then, the experiment, which will be detailed, will clarify and find out whether this answer is correct or not. Basically, that's what I did too. The moment I saw that video, I already told myself in my mind, I have a model. I don't think they are parasites, I don't think they are nanotechnologies, I think they are textile fibers.
Specialized to say what? What are these beings that are in our masks?
I accepted the challenge and built an experiment in my bike shed. Here it is. Okay, this is my setup. Down here I have the kettle. Here you can see the mask, which is lit up so you can see it better. Then I have a microscope. And I record what I see in the microscope with the help of a video camera. One of the things I noticed in the videos I made at the beginning without steam, so in the ones where I just filmed the mask, is that those little black things don't move, as you can see in these videos.
And only when there's moisture do they start to move, and with heat. As long as they don't have moisture and heat, they stay immobilized.
Alright, it's time for me to start the steam machine too. Using this method, I fogged all the system's lenses. It's better to steam the mask separately. And now here is the result. We can see here how, after being exposed to steam, those little black things seem to move, seem to contort, as if they come to life. Look here at one of those mysterious objects. This one, however, seems to have a free end. In my opinion, it looks very much like a textile thread that is attached to the mask at one end, while the other end floats in the air. And you can see here how I focus and defocus the image. Why is it moving? Because the steam that is still inside the mask rises up, and in this way, it sets in motion what I believe is a textile fiber.
I only tried this on surgical masks. I don't know if other masks would contain it.
Great suggestion from Stefan. Let's try other masks. Why not? Other textile items. T-shirts we have at home, towels we have at home. That's what I did. Here are some pictures with a green towel from my home. Hey, we see the same thing as in the mask. Nanotechnologies can't be built for the mask. Because what would they be doing in my towel? On the other hand, they could be worms, and then they're also in my towel. Let me clarify. I took a new, clean t-shirt and scraped it with a piece of sandpaper, paper, textile fibers from a black piece of clothing. It's true. I also tried to cut some fine cat hairs, but I wasn't very lucky. The cat didn't stay with me for too long. Here are some images of the white t-shirt on which I scraped some black textile fibers. The t-shirt was kept in steam for a short time, because we can see these textile fibers moving. The steam is still slowly coming out of the fabric. I also think the fibers often move due to air currents, especially since you've seen how sometimes some fibers have only one end fixed. On the left side, we see the best picture I managed to take of these textile fibers. On the right side, we see a picture taken from the internet of some polyester fibers from which most clothes are made. We can see the two look alike and also resemble hair strands. We can see here that not all textile fibers are black, like the one in the bottom right. Some of them are a bit reddish. And this one, in this case, we can see that it broke, it split into its component pieces. And we've reached the end. My conclusion is the following. Don't forget, in those images, there aren't nanotechnologies specially made to be put in masks, because I found them in regular t-shirts as well. In what we have at home, on the other hand, there aren't worms either, so there are no worms in the masks, but we do have black textile fibers from black clothes that ended up in the mask because I put the mask in my pocket, because I used it. The same textile fibers as you saw are also found in other textiles we have at home. So even in t-shirts, white t-shirts, we can find them, and in green towels as well. We have the same small textile fibers. The question is, why do they move, right? Normally, in most experiments, textile fibers just stay there and don't move because they're not alive. But in the experiment conducted by Stefan and the others, steam was used. The steam entered the textile, stayed there in the textile, and little by little it is still coming to the surface. And as it comes to the surface, it sets those textile fibers in motion. And it seems like the textile fibers move a little, they twist, and often a structural deformation appears, because those tiny textile fibers have been exposed to the steam. And after that, it cools down and changes the structure. That's what happens. They react to these environmental changes once we use steam or don't use steam. And in the end, a very interesting image. I don't know if you can tell what it is. I'll tell you, it's glassine paper under the microscope. I've reached the end of my little experiment from yesterday. I enjoyed staying in the barn and doing experiments with the microscope. Very important to know. You're right, Stefan. It's good to do experiments, but afterwards we have to be careful how we interpret them so we can give the correct interpretation to an experiment. And in this case, the final answer is this. We don't need to worry. There are no worms or nanotechnologies, Maska. Masks get dirty with microscopic and very small objects that we can't see with the naked eye every time we put them in our pocket or pick them up. Alright, goodbye.